We can find food. There are plenty of things on this island we can use for sustenance.
And exactly how are we going to find the sustenance?
Who wants bacon?
It's the best on.
No, I don't want to go back to Sydney. Look, I've been preparing for this for years. Just put me on the bus right now. I can do this.
No, you can't.
Hey, don't you walk away from me. You don't know who you're dealing with. Don't ever tell me what I can't do, ever. This is destiny. This is destiny. This is my destiny. I'm supposed to do this, damn it. Don't tell me what I can't do. Don't tell me what I can't.
You can't get on this bus.
We have to go back!
What's going on, Lost is back here again with episode 4 of Project Lost, one of my favorite episodes of season 1. Don't tell me what I can't do. This is my destiny, man. The man, the myth, the legend, the mystery that is John Locke, and probably one of the saddest flashbacks in the Project Lost history here. But anyway, we're gonna explore that. I have highlights and reels coming at y'all with a new format tonight, so I'm gonna see if y'all like it. Anyway, let me know down in the comments if y'all enjoy this, but we about to get into it. But of course, you know what we gotta do.
We have to go back!
We have to go back. Let's get into it, guys.
What is it? Somebody's in there.
Everyone in there's dead.
Sawyer, right behind you, jackass.
So we start to show off with the Losties, and they're awakened in the middle of the night by a strange noise who they mistake for Sawyer, at least Jack, that is. There was some real prejudiced stuff going on there, man. What's going on, Jack? But anyway, they further go and explain the source. Explain, did I say explain? Explore the source of the noise. And Sawyer, who we know is kind of impatient, goes to shine a light to, you know, whatever is making the noise, and then out comes 2 wild wildebeests or whatever. So nobody knows what it is, but of course John, you know, who we know has some type of survival hunting know-how at this point. He has the biggest smirk on his face, and he says, "Wild boars."
Those boars we're looking to feed. We have to get rid of the bodies.
Bury them. There's a whole bunch in there.
More than 20. Digging will be difficult without shovels.
Not bury. We need to burn them.
They're people.
I know they're people, Kate.
Burning the remains. They deserve better than that.
Better than what? Being eaten by wild animals? Because that's what's going to happen. Any bodies we bury are not going to stay buried for very long. It's not about what they deserve. They're gone, and we're not.
So in the next scene here, Jax decides to burn the rest of the plane. The smell is attracting the boar, but there are also dead bodies on the plane, and this causes some difference of opinion between Saeed, who thinks that the dead on the plane deserve a proper burial. But side note, I also have a problem with this as well from a logical standpoint, but more on that in just a second. After this, we get a discussion between Saeed and Kate, and Saeed is putting together like a device that will locate the source of that message that's been playing on a loop for 16 years. But one thing I took from this is Saeed makes a remark that Kate must really want to get off the island. And my question at this point is why? You know, the marshal who was transporting her is dead, you know, from the last episode. But, you know, hypothetically, once she got back, somebody else would be waiting on her, right? So what was her plan? That's what I want to know. So why was she so eager to get off the island, to go back to jail? So I don't know, unless she had an escape plan, but that's just something I was thinking about.
What's going on? Jether here's holding the last of the peanuts. My own stash. I found it in there.
What about the rest of the food?
There is no rest of the food, dude. We kind of ate it all.
What?
Hey, everybody, just calm down. We can find food. There are plenty of things on this island we can use for sustenance.
And exactly how are we going to find the sustenance? We hunt.
Classic. All right, so we find out from our lovable big guy Hurley that the survivors have ran out of rations. So now it's time for some good old fashioned hunting. And we happen to have a boar run across the island. So now remember when I said I had a problem with Jack burning the fuselage? Why go into the jungle and hunt when you can just have the boar come to you, even though you do have, the smell of the body. So keep that in mind. So, I guess at some point you have to get rid of it, or maybe go to another place on the island where you can't smell it. I'm not sure. I've never smelled a dead body, so I wouldn't know the proximity of, how far the smell would go. But, if you want to attract these boar, let them come to you. But I digress. So since that sidebar is over with, how about the badass there of John Locke right at this point? He's the only person who seems to possess hunting and survival skills, and he possessed one hell of a knife throwing technique, which will be displayed later in the series. Wink, wink. Then at the end of the scene here, John Locke is showing his suitcase full of knives, which he legally checked on the plane, by the way. So as Hurley asks, who is this guy? And then we finally go into the flashback of John Locke here.
Yes.
Colonel Locke, is this line secure?
Line secure GL-12, go ahead.
Target area is acquired. Maneuvers are a go for 1300 hours. Repeat, we are a go.
Roger that. We'll convene at the usual rendezvous point at 1300 hours.
Locke, I told you I need those TPS reports done by noon today. Not 12:30, not 12:15, noon.
I heard you the first time, Randy.
I know personal calls during office hours, Colonel.
All right, y'all. Now, is it me, or when he was typing, does that noise, does it sound like the smoke monster to y'all? So my lost vets out there, y'all might be able to answer that question. But I told you I find something new every time. That's what it sounded like to me. But anyway, John's flashback. We finally get John's glorious flashback with him growing up as a hunting prodigy in the deep Congo. Now I'm just playing. He was a guy, he's just a regular guy working a cubicle job. Looks pretty sad. And he plays battle games, games of Battlefield with his loser coworker. Sad, I know. But more on this in a bit.
So, hunting boar now, huh?
He says this is my first time boar hunting.
Tell me something, how come anytime there's a hike into the heart of darkness you sign up? You know what's in there.
If you know any better, I'd say you're worried about me, Jack.
I didn't know any better. I'd say you have a problem staying in one place for very long, Kate.
Did that sting. That's right. Kate is off once again, and this won't be the last time she goes off. I tell you, she cannot stay put. But her motive is not to just go hunting with Locke, but to plant that device that Saeed gave her early in the episode, somewhere in the jungle, so they can triangulate the source of that radio message. Anyway, from there, Locke goes off with Kate and Michael, who just wants to get to know John just a little bit better because he's having trust issues with him. And of course, he won't allow Walt to really talk to him like that. But for his troubles, he gets gored by a wild boar during their hunt. And then John pussies out and, he's laying on the ground, looking at his foot. We get that imagery, many times with him looking down at his foot. And we're going to find out in the, next part of this flashback. But anyway, he proceeds to get up and continue to hunt. And then Kate is trying to get him to come back, to help Michael out. And she's like, you can't do it. You can't do it. And of course, that's when we get him kind of murmuring that classic line, don't tell me what I can't do. And then from there, we get to the next part of the flashback and we have a new revelation about John.
Yeah. Tell me, what's a walkabout? Experience the dream journeys of the fabled Australian outback.
You have no right taking that off my desk.
So you wander around, hunting and gathering food, right? On foot? What is it with you, Locke? Why do you torture yourself? Imagining you're some hunter and walkabouts? Wake up. You can't do any of that.
Norman Croucher.
What?
Double amputee, no legs. He climbed to the top of Mount Everest. Why? It was his destiny.
That's what you think you got, old man? Destiny?
Just don't tell me what I can't do.
Don't tell me what I can't do. It is his destiny. So I had my facts a little bit skewed. I think he says this after, you know, he wakes up from the flashback or whatever, and then he says, don't tell me what I can't do to Kate. But just had to correct myself a little bit. So where are we at here? So John is playing a game of Battlefield with this loser co-worker. John's life is sad, man. God, John was a sucker, man. He was a sucker. In the chat, question of the day, was John a sucker? If watching the whole season, was John a sucker? Answer that for me in the comments. That's the day's question of the day. Anyway, when Randy, his manager, joins the conversation, he questions John about an event he plans on going to called the Walkabout, and an outside experience in the Australian outback that will harden the mind, body, and soul of a man. But of course, Randy wants to know how he'll do this, as John is handicapped and confined to a wheelchair. However, we see John on the island and he's a-okay. And he starts one of these, and this starts one of the great mysteries to be answered by Laws. Why is he walking now? What are the properties of the island that possesses, you know, for him to just get up and start walking again? Anyway, his co-worker also mentions Helen, who we presume at this point is John's girlfriend. But oh boy, next is the most saddest scene I have ever seen. Let's get into it.
Getting to finally tell Randy off was life-changing. I mean it. Now I'm free to do all those things I ever wanted to do. Things that I know I was destined to do, like we talked about, Helen. I'm flying to Australia at the end of the week, and I bought 2 tickets. Helen?
John, we've talked about this. I like
I
you,
know.
and I've enjoyed talking with you these
so far.
past few months.
8 months.
I'm not allowed to meet customers. This isn't really normal. I mean, it isn't what I do. I don't, maybe you should find I don't know, a therapist?
I have a therapist.
John.
I thought you understood, Helen. You know me better than
John,
anyone.
if we talk any longer, I'm going to have to charge you for another hour. That's another $89.95. You can't afford
Look, I don't care about the money. I just...
I'm sorry, John. I got
$89.95. What kind of hotline was that? Oh man. Let me get myself together. Can we all agree that John Locke, life pre-island, was complete trash? Now, from the conversation, we could deduce that Helen was some type of call girl that John had caught feelings for, and he wants her to go with him on the Walkabout. Helen hit him with the friend zone real quick, but anyway, I feel your pain, John. You just want to be loved, man. But I had to go back because I was thinking maybe it's some type of like teletherapy session, but of course in the conversation he mentioned that he has a therapist. So I was like, no, I'm like, John, you got to hold this L, man. So John has nobody in his life, so he has to resort to, I'm not sure if it was one of those 1-800 hotlines back in the, I'm not sure, but you know, it was a weird conversation, but it's not an organic relationship between the two. All right, so Smoke meets John, or So we think. More on that towards the end of the episode here. So after we go back to the island where Kate is climbing up the tree to plant Saeed's device, she notices that our good friend Smokey is on the loose once again and is headed John's way. Then we get a scene where John falls down to the ground. He looks up, and what can we presume is the smoke monster, but we're not shown what happens beyond this point. But back on the island, Kate and the other, they think that John Locke is lunch food, of course. But also back on the island, we are getting prepared to have some type of memorial service that Claire, she's been gathering photos and stuff from, I get like the dead, to kind of have some type of memorial service before they burn the bodies. But anyway, so next we see Jack. He's been talking to Rose during this episode as well. I just haven't touched on it that much. Also, there was Charlie. He was getting used by Shannon because, she and Boone were in an argument. She said she could get fish for us. So I just didn't care about that part of the story. That's why I just skipped over it. But I just didn't care about Shannon and Boone that much anyway. But anyway, we get Jack, and she's him and Rose are talking because Rose is still kind of mute right now. She's not talking, so Jack is sitting with her, and then she agrees to go to the memorial service. But during this conversation, he's seeing some type of image. He's seeing a hallucination, of a man in a suit. And at first he shakes it off during his conversation with Rose, but then with Kate, he sees it again, and then he follows the man into the area, into the forest, and then out of nowhere, John Locke appears with some fresh boar. So, he caught his boar. Later on, we get the memorial service that has been put together by Claire, of course. During this, Jack, is notably absent because he's, whatever he saw, he's now in his feelings. We're going to find out next episode what he saw. So y'all got to hang on with me next week for that. But with this, we also get a scene with John and Michael just gained a little bit more trust, a little bit more respect for John for catching that wild boar. And also he asked John what he saw, and John simply replies that he didn't see anything. But of course, we saw him see something. So that's still one of the questions I have with Lost. I'm like, why did he not say that he obviously saw something? Did he just not want to admit it? I don't see why. I can see if it was Jack, because Jack is more, of that man of logic and science. Maybe he would brush it off and say it was nothing, but why would John say that? As he's totally into this island right now. So I'm not sure. But anyway, we go from that into our last piece of the flashback here, an epic scene, and I'll close out with this.
The walkabouts we arrange here are not just some stroll through the park. It's trekking across vast stretches of desert, rafting, bloody treacherous
Look, you've got no idea who you're talking to. I'm well aware of what's involved, believe me. Booked this tour a month ago, you've already got my money. Now I demand a place on that bus.
You misrepresented yourself.
I never lied.
By omission, Mr. Locke. You neglected to tell us about your condition.
My condition is not an issue. I've lived with it for 4 years. It's never kept me from doing anything. I don't want to go back to Sydney. Look, I've been preparing for this for years. Just put me on the bus right now. I can do this.
No, you can't.
Hey, don't you walk away from me. You don't know who you're dealing with. Don't ever tell me what I can't do, ever! This is destiny. This is destiny. This is my destiny. I'm supposed to do this, damn it! Don't tell me what I can't do! Don't tell me what I can't...
Oh man, that was so epic. This is my destiny. This is my destiny. Don't tell me what I can't do. I said I was going to have it on the soundboard this week. I have had time to put it on, y'all. So anyway, yeah, we end the episode off with one of the greatest scenes in Lost history, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, so in short, you know, he's trying to go on the walkabout, and of course the tour guide won't let him because he omitted the fact that he was, of course, handicapped. And then we go into that epic scene that I just showed you there. Then we go back to the island. You know, the stuff is burning, and then in the background, the wheelchair that John came on the plane with is burning in the wreckage with it, and he has this big grin on his face with a new lease on life on the island. So where do we go from there? We shall see. But that has been the end of this week's Project Lost episode 4, one of my favorite episodes in season 1. Don't tell me what I can't do. This is my destiny. But anyway, y'all, how did y'all enjoy this new format? I think I want to roll with this. It's a little bit more easier on me, and I think it's a little bit more engaging too, and it shows y'all a little bit, you know, those of you who might be stumbling upon this who haven't watched the show, a couple clips might get you interested in watching, you know. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in this week. If you did like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course, I'll see y'all next week. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more Lost content. Episode 5, we're gonna be getting into Jack's flashback, so make sure to stick around, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace out.